There is a famous tale about a girl who was a student at Yomiyama High and died due to an accident. A few days later, her classmates saw her again. Thinking that the death was just an act, the girl even graduated with her class. His dad, Kouichi Sakakibara, has moved to his hometown to live with his grandparents and aunt because his dad is on a business trip to India. He has to start school in a new town, but he gets sick and stays hospitalized for about a month. When he is about to be discharged, 3 of his classmates visit him in the hospital, claiming that they are there on behalf of the whole class. Their behavior is very suspicious, but Kouichi couldn't understand anything. When he gets discharged, he encounters a strange girl with an eye patch on her left eye. She goes to the morgue of the hospital, saying that her other half is waiting for him. She introduces herself as Misaki. Later on the first day of his school, he gets a warm welcome. He sees Misaki there, and he gets a chance to talk to her in PE class. She says that he doesn't know anything, but his name is associated with cruel death, and that the grade 9 class 3 is very close to death. On his second day at school, some students invite him to join the art club, but he says that he will think about it. After the class, he is standing in the corridor when one of his classmates accidentally asks him if he knows about the curse of class 3. As they are talking, he sees Misaki sitting in a library and leaves them to go talk to her. He asks her about her eye, curious to know about the girl, but before she could show her, the librarian comes and asks Kouichi to go away for now. Misaki is curious and goes to the hospital to know if any girls died on the night he got discharged. The nurse says that someone died that night, but she won't know the details. She will find them and call him later. The next day after school, he follows Misaki but loses her at a point. He stumbles upon a rusty building, which is some kind of studio. As he is looking at the building, he receives a call from the nurse. She tells him that the name of the girl who died that night is Misaki. Shocked, Misaki goes inside the studio only to find that it is a doll shop with all the weird and scary-looking dolls. There he meets Misaki, who finally takes off her eye patch to show him what is underneath it. When she removes her eye patch, Kouichi is shocked to see an artificial eye there. She tells him that it's a doll's eye, and it can see different things in the world that shouldn't be seen. She tells him about the story of a girl named Misaki, who died 26 years ago. She says that there is more to the story, but before she could tell him anything further, the owner of the museum says that it's time for closing. Kouichi later tries to ask everyone about the story, but no one gives him a satisfactory answer and everyone says that he should leave the topic. His classmates even warn him that he should not mess with things that do not exist. Later, he receives a call from the nurse, and she tells him that the name of the girl who died was Fujioka Misaki. When she asks Misaki about that, she tells him that the girl was her cousin, and they were very close. She also tells him that no one can see him except him, because she doesn't exist. As he is talking with her, a girl from his class goes out of the class running, and dies by tripping on stairs and falling on her umbrella. Kouichi goes to the hospital to get checked. When he is coming back, the nurse who helped also comes out, and they go out for coffee. He tells her about Mei, and says that he is certain something is going on, but no one tells him what it is. The nurse says that she has never heard of a girl named Mei, but her brother is in the same class as Kouichi, and she promises to ask him about the strange circumstances of their class. When he is going back from there, he bumps into his classmate, Aya. As they are talking, a sheet of glass from a nearby truck falls, but Kouichi takes a sudden action and saves them both. Later, he goes to the doll shop again and meets Mei there. She says that it has finally begun, and if he doesn't know anything yet, it is better for him. He angrily confronts his classmate at school the next day, but he still doesn't tell him anything. As he is talking with his classmates, he receives a call from the nurse. She tells him that he asked her brother and there was no Mei in their class. She goes into the elevator while talking to him, but the elevator falls and she dies after being crushed. The nurse's death shocks Kouichi, and he is more determined to find the reason. His classmates still refuse to tell him anything, so he goes to research and finds a yearbook for class 3 from the year 1972, when the accident happened. He is shocked to find that his mother was in the same class as him. The police come to the school and investigate Kouichi the nurse's death, as he was the last person she was talking to. When he is done with the interrogation, one of his classmates tells him that he can go home, while this whole class is nowhere to be found. Later, he finds that they held a meeting without him. His classmate, Takebayashi, feels bad and says that he will tell him the story, but before he can say anything, he gets a heart attack and dies. After his death, the whole class starts to treat Kouichi like he doesn't exist. He goes to the museum again to meet Mei and asks her for answers. She finally decides to tell him and says that it is a curse that started 26 years ago when the girl died. The students or the family members of students started to die after that, and it continued for years. After that, there is always an extra student in the class who is dead, but nobody, including the person himself, knows that he is dead. She says that after trying several methods, the only thing that worked was that they treated a student like they didn't exist, to make up for the extra student, and this year it's her. And now Kouichi will be part of it too. Kouichi and Mei are still at her house, discussing the situation they are in. Kouichi asks Mei how she accepts this behavior in class. She says that it just happened to be her, and that if it was someone else, she would have to follow the rules. Kouichi also accepts the situation, and they become very close after that, and spend most of their time together. She tells him that she lost her eye when she was 4, and her mother, who is obsessed with making dolls, made a special one for her. They form a proper friendship as she welcomes him into her club, as they are now 2 people who do not exist. When Kouichi goes home, he receives a call from his father, who asks him how he feels coming back to the town after 1.5 years. Kouichi says that he has never been here before, but the line gets cut before they can talk further. Later, they go to the librarian, who doesn't ignore their existence and asks him more questions, as he was the homeroom teacher of Class 3 in 1972. He tells them that the Misaki who died in 1972 was a boy, and everything is almost true about the curse. He said that the curse applies to people when they are in Yomiyama, and it is more of a natural phenomenon than a curse. Their homeroom teacher, Shoji Kubadara, stabs himself in the neck in front of the whole class, leaving them traumatized. The librarian tells Mei and Kouichi that Shoji's mother had been murdered a few days ago, and he is the suspect in that, and maybe that's why he killed himself. He says that this is because of calamity, and there is no other explanation for that. Class 3 has secluded that their plan of ignoring 2 people doesn't work, so they start talking to Mei and Kouichi again. Their class president, Akazawa, warns them to be careful as people will now say that it was all their fault. Mei and Kouichi go to ask a librarian about what stopped the calamity 15 years ago, but he says that he only knows that the class went on a trip, and something happened there that stopped the calamity. Later, his classmates call him for a meeting in a cafe, and the waitress there tells them that a student named Katsumi from Class 3, 15 years ago, comes here often. He says he doesn't know anything. Kouichi goes to meet Mei and asks her if she will go to find Katsumi, but she says that she is going somewhere with his family. She also tells him that he is not the one who is dead, and he should stop worrying about that. Kouichi, with some of his classmates, decided to go to a beach resort to find Katsumi and also take his aunt Reiko with him, because she was also in Class 3 15 years ago. They drive carefully, and as soon as they cross the border of Yomiyama, they start driving fast, thinking that the curse is not effective outside the town. When they reach there, Reiko goes to meet Katsumi but finds that he is out, so she leaves her number there so he can contact her when he comes back. They decided to go to the beach and have some fun while they waited for him to come back. They spend their whole day there playing and fishing. Kouichi also finds Mei there, and she joins them. Reiko finally joins them and instantly recognizes Reiko. They reminisce about their past, and then students join them in asking for answers from Katsumi. He says that he can't remember much about their trip, but he remembers that he left something in school as a hint. As they are talking, suddenly a strong wind starts to blow, and it takes away their ball into the water. A student Junta goes to fetch the ball but drowns halfway, and his body gets torn by a motorboat. They realize that the curse doesn't stop Yomiyama. They are all back from the trip, grieving their friend's death. Chibiki, the librarian, reveals that Chimta had already hit his head in the morning and has had trauma because of that. He says that police suspect his death because he was already dead before the boat hit him. They conclude that his death happened because of events that happened at Yomiyama. Kouichi is affected badly by all the incidents and keeps dreaming about dead children. The next day, he wants to search for the clue Katsumi hid in the school, but he doesn't want to tell anyone about it, fearing they will face consequences. He talks to his 2 close friends, and they decide to go find the clue without telling anyone. He accidentally bumps into Mei and has to tell her about the mission. They go to the sealed part of the school where the old classroom for Class 3 is located. After searching for a while, they find Katsumi's clue, which is a cassette tape. In the tape, Katsumi revealed that on their trip, 2 students had died, and he had witnessed their deaths. He said that something else important happened, but before they could listen to what it was, they had to hide as a guard came into the room. When they come out of the room, they find that Noia accidentally broke the tape, but Yuya says that he will fix it and they will listen to it then. Later, their classmate Ava dies in a road accident with her family while trying to escape, and Yumi's brother also dies when a runaway truck smashes into his apartment. Class 3 decided to go on a trip to the Yomiyama shrine. When they reach there, they settle into the lodge and plan to go to the shrine the next day to pray for their safety. Kouichi and his group finally listen to the tape and find that when Katsumi was on a trip with his class, he got into an argument with one of his classmates and accidentally killed him. He was worried that everybody would find out about it, but to his surprise, no one even remembered that student. He concludes that the student must have been the extra one, and that is why the curse has been broken. They are all surprised to find the news and worry that even if they had found the extra one, how would they kill one of their classmates? Later in the evening, Mei and Kouichi are talking when he asks her about Fujioka again. She tells him that she was her twin sister, but Mei was adopted during her childhood. She says that she was the first one to die and that's why the curse has already started, but other students don't know about that, so they think it started late. She also reveals that her eye can see the color of death, like the people who are dead or near death. That's why she knows Kouichi is not the dead one. She is about to tell him who is the real death, but Noya storms into the room, saying he did something bad. Noya says that he thought Kazami was extra and confronts him, but they end up arguing, and he pushes him off through the window. He thinks that Kazami died, but Kouichi says that they are not that high, and he might just get injured. Noya also tells them that he told Kazami about the tape, which worries Kouichi more. As they go out to check, they find that the manager has been killed, and that the killer has put the dining hall on fire. They find that Kazami is alive and killing people around them. When they searched for the tape, they couldn't find it, concluding that it had gone missing. Seeing all the incidents, the hotel mistress loses her mind and attacks the students. She also wants to kill the extra one and thinks that Mai is the one who is dead, so she tries to kill her because she knew Misaki in elementary school and she was different. As they were trying to stop them, Takeko broadcasts the tape on the speaker, bringing utter chaos into the lodge. Everyone now thinks that Mai is the extra one and chases her to kill her. While they were after Mei, trying to kill her, the two of them died. A sudden backdraft kills another one of the students. Mai says that if she had killed the extra student from the start, it wouldn't have happened and goes to find them. Kazami continues his killing spree. He chases Kouichi to kill him, thinking he is dead as the curse started when he came. Akazawa saves Kouichi and kills Kazami when he was about to kill Kouichi. She thinks Mai is the extra one, but when she goes to kill her, lightning strikes the hotel and breaks window glass, which impales Akazawa, killing her. Before dying, she briefly remembered meeting Kouichi in this town. Kouichi receives a call from Mei, who says that she will end all this and doesn't want him to be involved because he will get hurt. He doesn't listen to her and goes where she is, only to be shocked by who the extra is. He finds that the extra is actually Reiko, who is also Miss Mikami, but she has told him to separate the work and personal relationship. He finally gets his memories back and remembers that he visited the town in 1996 to attend Reiko's funeral. He is shocked by the news but reluctantly kills her and passes out after that. The curse has been finally broken. Kouichi and Mai sit together and remember their times because they will soon forget them. Noea takes this step and records a message for the future Class 3 to let them know how to break the calamity.